Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. It's the next day. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon because I had to wait for my shop to warm up. It was 48 when I got out here this morning. It's 59 now, so that's better than it was. If you're always wondering why I'm wearing a hoodie, it's because it's damn cold. And I wear shorts. All right, well, welcome to the vacuum bagging. Here's our jig that we made yesterday. Voila. Yeah, it was pretty fun to do. Hope you enjoyed it. So here's the vacuum bag that we have. The actual dimensions are 54 by like 80. It says the bag is a 4 by 6 bag, 4 foot by 6 foot. So we have the bag set up here. We have a little grid put inside made of particle board, basically with like 1/8 inch deep by 1/8 inch wide dados ran all over the front and back, just like this is. That is so the air can get around your jig and then suck everything down to it. There's a little port right here, which this little hose hooks up to when you plug it in. Just attaches like that. You have to make sure that where the nozzle goes in, that it lands up on one of these little grids. So it'll actually let the air go in. We're going to do a dry run. I'll show you how it works. This is like a 1/3 horse continuous pump, which just basically continues to suck air out of the bag. It just sucks air. It is what it is. I think we got this on eBay for like 150 bucks. You can buy pumps anywhere between $84 and $400, brand new from veneersupply.com. They're not a sponsor. I don't know anything about them. That's where I bought all this stuff. You can buy glue there, veneers, bags, the whole 9 yards. You can even buy grid work, I think, from them too. But yeah, so it's a 30 mil polyurethane extreme seamless bag. It'll hold up to 3,750 pounds per square inch, more than that. So if you want to suck in the hell out of something, here it is. Just don't climb in it and be careful. All right, so here's how it works. We got our grid in here like this. We have this lined up with our grid here. We're going to take our little jig and stick it inside the hole here. There. Good golly. All right, and we'll just stick it like that. What we have to have is this little nozzle has to be able to reach down to the grid or be open in the air, but when you see it get sucked down, it's kind of hard to do. So we'll just aim for the grid. All right, like that. We'll take our pile of wood that we made yesterday and just stick it in here just for the hoo-haws of it. When you do this in real life, you should always secure it down to the jig, make sure it's flush and flat. Make sure it's flush and flat and in place, because when this bag starts to move, it will actually move your piece, your work piece. And if it glues up crooked, you don't want that.
Okay, that's for you.
Okay, I got that. Now the hard part. Piece of 3/4 inch PVC and I guess a PVC cap that goes over it. These two are exactly the same length. And this is how you secure your bag so it doesn't leak air. All right, flip it over like that. Make sure the little pipe is sticking out on either side. Try to get it as flat as possible. It's not always possible with big things and tall things. It tends to do all sorts of craziness. These extreme bags, these 30 mils, are pretty good when it comes to, they're very durable, very resistant to tearing and scratching and holes. Haven't had a hole yet, knock on wood, don't want one. So you line this blue piece up at the end of the white piece over here, and you squeeze. And work your way down like this. There. And if you don't get that right, and this thing's all crooked or got a little seam or crease in it, and you're gonna have problems. All right, so we have this here. Gets attached to this little brass nozzle here. This fitting is probably like $5 or $6. It has a little flippy flapper on it. And it just attaches to this right here. All right, this motor here does not have a switch on it. So I'm just gonna plug it into my thing over here and let it go. That'll take a few minutes to, I don't know if it'll take a few minutes. Let's see how long it is. All right, 129. we'll just see how long it takes to do it. And then just make sure as it's doing this, you want to make sure that all your stuff's lined up, it ain't wiggled over, it's where you want it, lined up square. Because eventually this thing's just going to go whoop, and it's just going to suck up like crazy. And you'll see. Maybe take a minute or so. And sometimes it helps if you hold the nozzle up in the air as long as you possibly can. And as it's getting sucked down, you want to aim for these little grid marks. I'm actually pushing it, it's getting sucked in now. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's done. It's all about a minute. It feels tight. It's all in there, and thing of beauty. All right, so what I do after that is I take a piece of Gorilla Tape and just pop this loose and set this Gorilla Tape right on there. Like that. Turn this, disconnect the bobulator. And there it is. This is, and you don't want to have super sharp corners. These might be a little too sharp. See how that is? But it's amazing that it doesn't, I've never had it break through. Maybe it can, I don't know. It's probably whatever, but you can see how it's sucked in there. It's the same way on this backside here. So, yeah, very durable. And I think maybe I will put a piece of wood over the top of this when we're clamping it up, just so these points don't stick out like this, because I'd hate to have it rip through the damn point. And if it's too tight for you, you can loosen it up, put it back down. Yeah. But that will get sucked down to the jig. Perfect. And that's why we made the jig, like, remember yesterday I said, 1/4 inch wider on both sides and a solid piece on either side, because if it's not, this would just get sucked down to whatever. Like over here, the back where it's still long, I'm gonna have to cut these till they're all the same height. Where it's long, it's actually bending the wood over. I wish I could show you. But anyway, so that's how it goes. And then when it's all said and done, it's been sitting there for, 10 or 12 hours or however long you want to make it sit there. I might leave it up just all night long. But then we just disconnect it. Put it back down. Yeah, there it is. And then we undo it, and after the glue dries, we pull it out and put the next one in, glue it up, and put it back down in there. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and glue this up. I might put little stringers in here so these little points aren't so sharp, because that's probably not good for it. But other than that, then I'm going to resaw a bunch of wood that I milled up this morning, because while this is sitting here taking up 6 foot by 4 foot of space on my shop, I could be resawing stuff, and that's what I'm going to do. And then when you're done, if you could disconnect it, peel the plastic off here, this blue thing comes off like that, pull this out, and there you go. This would be curved and ready to go. And our jig did not fall apart. And that, my friends, is how you go about gluing up a curved raised panel. Wow. If I didn't have one of these, I'd have to make a negative and positive jig for this right here, and then I'd have to more work, and I have to clamp it down and let it sit there, and you need a bunch of clamps and all that, and it takes up space. This works a hell of a lot better. I've done both, and this works much better. All right. Hey, welcome back. We're going to glue up the pile of wood. This will be seen from both sides, so we need a back. So I put the ones that look like a pair of boobs on the back, and we need a front. And I picked out the front because it's the most plain, and I can make them both look exactly the same, because the other one's almost the exact duplicate of this one. Yeah. When you're gluing veneers up that are 1/8 inch thick, you want to make sure that the grain direction goes different directions. So the grain direction on each one of these, you can see, see this right here? It's going up. The one following that is going down, and back and forth and back and forth. Okay? So they're not all going the same direction. So the rings will be going one way, and the other panel, the rings will be going the other way. And I just try to go back and forth as much as possible to get them to be a little different. I can't really show it. Yeah. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Isn't this the dumbest looking thing you ever seen? Yeah, okay. So the rings are going one way on one and one way on the other, blah, 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 back and forth. And yeah, so there it is. Hope that made sense. I'm going back over here. My butt's freezing because this table saw's cold. Yeah. All right, so this is the back. We're not gluing that side. We're going to glue this side. I've shaped up I've shooken up the Type On 2. I have my old nasty roller and old whatever this thing is. And you can use other glues. I just like Type On. It is what it is. And I put about a 1/4 inch on the bottom of the whole thing. Yeah. We're going to use way more than that, but just to start with. Give it the little roller. And this is going to be a mess. Got to hold on to it. The parchment paper's slippery. Flat. Hunk of scrap. It's pretty flat. I just want to make sure that this is pretty damn flat. Take a little squeezers down just to hold it in place. Got it clamped up with our little clamps here. And that's the reason you have spring clamps. Somebody tells you they don't know what the purpose of spring clamps is. They haven't done enough woodworking. This is that new tape. I don't really like this tape. I haven't made friends with it yet. It's kind of dumb. Got some on there and make sure it's tight. Just pull it around the corner. And all this is gonna do is keep it from moving around. And pop that loose. I'm gonna do this side now. We have the back. We have the front. Here's the top. So what are we gonna do next? What did we talk about yesterday? Well, we're gonna secure that down. Let me get some glue off here. Just gonna get some glue off of my bag. I got some glue on my bag, man. That's not my bag. So this is gonna be centered on this rib. This is gonna be centered on this rib. This side should be centered on that rib all the way around. All right, cool. Now we're gonna shrink wrap it. This just help hold it in place. Once I stop moving it around. Usually about 3 wraps does it. There we go. And then you can still adjust it a little bit while it's like this. See that? I got these. These are left over from something else. I'm going to just tape these on the end so it'll kind of be easier on my jig. Yeah. So these little L plastic hard things is a rock that you get sometimes with hardware and stuff. Keep them. You can use them for other things. Okay. Just don't throw them in a landfill. You should use things as much as possible. And there's the jig with all the stuff on there shrink wrapped in there. I'm gonna open up the old Betsy hole here. Oh, you son of a banana. Yeah. Yeah, this tape doesn't work that good. Really, not that good. Okay, now let's pull this Johnson towards us. Okay, make sure that little plastic Johnson's sticking out. Fold this guy over and see it wants to. If it folds over itself, you're not gonna have a good seam. You want it nice and smooth, just like that. Yay, it's good. Yeah, and if it's also kinked up, you won't be able to squeeze this at all because this is hard enough as it is. There we go. Good golly. All right. Now for the fun part. Here we go. Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. Hopefully I can get this lined up on something. Let's see if I can do this. Trying to push this jig over so it'll work. You hear it? Done. This is like the 4th time I've used this piece of tape. All right. What do you think? You like it? I like it. So we're just gonna pop this loose, put this tape on there. Ta-da! There it is. We have one glued up. If you're looking at the ends, all the glue is getting sucked out. You don't need a ton of glue in there. You just need like an even little film. You got to be able to see through it a little bit. You can see the grain still, that's fine. As long as there's no dry spots. I mean, there's no air in there. 3,500 pounds per square inch. It'll hold up to 3,700 pounds per square inch. That's sucking the crap out of everything. I wouldn't want to be in there being that piece of wood. No, thank you. So I'm going to let this sit probably till tomorrow morning. Anyway, so there you go. So thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Fling, flang, the bang, bang. Tell all your friends, share it with the world, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin, right here on the YouTubes. That's me. See you soon. Bye. Put some more in there. Right around the edge here. That looks pretty good. You can get very creative with your gluing if you like. As long as it's all evenly coated. It's fun. It's like painting. I hate painting. Oh, for shizzle. All right. You can also do like this. It's kind of more fun. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about something else. ADHD. You have a booger snot. I got glue all over me. I'm getting too old for this shit. Okay. We'll see ya. Bye.